There you go.
There it is. There it is. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you so much, as always, for tuning in to the Carrier Experience Podcast. On today's show, we're just going to be talking about the reasons why we do what we do and talk a little bit about my superpower. So here we go.
The Carrier Experience Podcast is a show for anyone who wants to grow their agency and be a titan of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the insurance bro, James Cias.
Are you going to say it?
Never gets old.
All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time again. And before we jump into all of the other stuff that we're going to talk about, just a quick request. If you could jump into whatever podcast app that you're listening to this on, give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube live, jump over to hit that little subscribe button down there at the bottom. If you're watching on Facebook Live, jump over to YouTube real quick, give us a subscribe. Would love to get, some good numbers on here. Subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you so much, big bro. So today's title, the title of today's show is My Authenticity is My Superpower. And it comes from a story that I posted on the Instagram last night. I went ahead and threw it on IGTV. So if you want to check that out, find me right there at Insurance Broham. And oh yeah, there you go. You got it all the way across the screen now. Insurance Broham. And see what I was talking about. And basically, all I'm saying here is on this show, I am talking about the real things that I'm going through in building this agency. I am, not always talks about it. I wear my heart on my sleeve. If you can see it back there somewhere, there it is. The heart on the sleeve, right? It's my superpower. It's what makes me so much of who I am. I have my weekly planner, and at the top of my weekly planner, I write my core values. My core values are freedom, vulnerability, and now I'm not even going to be able to remember it. Wait, there it is.
Try to make the world a better place.
Positivity.
There you go.
Good call. Freedom, positivity, vulnerability, adventure, and generosity. So those are the things that are core to me. And I guess I'm just going to talk about that vulnerability, that authenticity. That's really, I think, what makes me who I am. That's what is going to make this show and everything that I do as successful as it can be, as successful as I can make it. I think that it really is my superpower. It's something that attracts people to me and also makes people want to work with me. I'm not the type of person that's going to lie. I'm not the type of person, definitely not lie. Like I'm the world's worst liar. But even more so, it's a matter of just being upfront and open and honest and telling people exactly what's going on at all
Even when you don't
things. Even when they don't want to hear it. I love that line that I've quoted from Parker multiple times. The measure of your success is going to be commensurate with your ability to have difficult conversations. And I really take that to heart. When it comes time to have difficult conversations, I never want to have them. The other person never wants to have them, but it's just a matter of being able to have those conversations and say, look, this is where we're at with things. This is what's going on. And this is why we're making the decisions that we're making. And so vulnerability and authenticity is really what a big part of what defines me. So I was talking about that last night in my story. I think I was specifically talking about this podcast and the things that I'm doing here. Why am I here? What am I doing here? And what stage are we at? Right. So the Carrier Experience Podcast was originally started out. Our first idea is, hey, let's get carriers to sponsor agents to be on the show and have all of these agents come on and talk about how great these carriers are, because they are great, right? I have told stories a few times here about experiences that I've had with Hartford. They've been really good to us. They have taken us to baseball games, and man, when we go to baseball games, when we go to the Padres games, if anybody has not been to Petco Park and you live here in San Diego, you're definitely missing out. What do you call it, Nun? What do you call Petco Park?
It's the baseball themed restaurant.
It's the baseball themed restaurant, and it really is,
because the food is good. Like anywhere you eat at the ballpark, it's really good food. They've got they got Hodads, they got all kinds of great different food places at the stadium. And you just happen to watch a decent baseball team, one of those.
Yeah, well, they're actually doing the Dodgers here.
It's actually really good when the Dodgers come in, but still, you can watch the Padres, right? And in their brown uniforms. But it's still a good time. You get to watch some baseball and eat some delicious food, so you can't complain there.
Delicious food. So the Petco restaurant.
The Petco restaurant.
The Petco restaurant. That's a little bit weird, actually, now that I think about it, because I got Katie sitting over here. Yeah. She's like, that might.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
That's not how this works. Petco restaurant just has a totally different meaning to her. Oh, man. Oh, we got honesty shouldn't come hard between family, and that's what sets us apart. We don't have clients. We have family and friends. I learned this from Susie and James, but I still do get nervous every now and then too. Man, Nate, I appreciate your comment. Thanks always for tuning in. And it is tough when you have to break bad news to family. Dude, Nan, do you remember when mom told us that she was diabetic?
Oh, Grandma.
Man.
That was her words.
Yeah, don't tell grandma. I'm pretty sure grandma has finally found out, I think.
Yes.
But these are hard conversations. But yeah, honesty is tough, but absolutely necessary, especially when we're talking about this fiscal responsibility that we have for our customers. We got to tell them truly how it is and do the best that we can with the coverage options that we have available for us. But
let me give you my 2 cents on that, because
go ahead.
Here's the thing about honesty and business, especially when you're talking about a fiscal responsibility. Oftentimes we get in a situation where we let our life and the dollar signs in our life dictate what we're going to do with the client, right? So for example, my background's in real estate. Sometimes you'll fall into a negotiation where they're trying to negotiate something, and there's a $10,000 or a $20,000 negotiation that's going on, and because in your life $10,000 or $20,000 are such an extreme number, you feel awkward about presenting that to your client. And this is where the honesty is tough but necessary kind of kicks in. Your job is not to determine whether it's a good or a bad number. Your job is to present the information, advise what you think should happen, and let the client make the decision. And that's the part that's honest. When you start to neglect things because you think, I don't want to bring it up, that's 10 grand. I don't know what they're going to say if they say 10 grand. Like, that has nothing to do with you. You are there just to present what is there, advise what you think should happen, and let the client make the decision. That's the honesty part. And that's where it's difficult. It's right. We get it in our own heads that something's off, but it's not always the case. When I heard Melina talking about this,
yes,
in
I was
her
totally going to
podcast,
refer to that.
Right. And she's like, she was talking about her days in the airline industries. Yeah. And she would say, okay, hey, the ticket for this trip is going to be, $3,224. And then just sit there and be quiet and let the client decide. $3,000 for an airline ticket might sound expensive to you, but on the other side, you don't know who's listening to them. That's just normally what they pick because they like to go to sleep and have a bed on the plane and, all this stuff. So that's a normal ticket for them. So don't take what's going on in your life and make it part of your total sales pitch or presentation here. Just be honest. This is the situation. This is what's going on. And then present it. The client is going to decide what is too much, what is too little, when they're going to walk away, when they're not going to walk away, but they're going to thank you for presenting the situation that is there.
100%. And it's all about that presentation, right? It's all about, if it's a $10,000 policy, you can present it like it costs $10,000.
Ouch.
Right. Or, okay, so here's your policy and it costs $10,000.
Right.
Right. With just matter of fact. And And like you said, then just shut up and listen. Right? Then just be quiet. It's funny because I know Nate's probably going to say something, but that is one of Suzanne's big pitches. Is so many agents and so many people in the sales process can't shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Just you just talk and you talk and you talk and you talk and you don't stop to listen to what the customer is saying. There's this awesome program out there for anybody who does sales over the phone. This program is called Gong, Gong, Gong. Now, I have not personally tried it, but I'm really good friends with somebody, shout out to Aris and the Junto Mastermind group, who uses this program as a statistical analysis of how often or how long they speak versus their customers. So they're able to tell that if they are speaking for 60, 70, 80, 90% of the conversation, and how much the other person is speaking, how much their potential customer is speaking. And of course, using these statistics, they can determine whether they're talking too much or not enough. You do a certain number of sales calls and you find out, okay, if I'm talking 70% of the time, I have a 50% close ratio. Whereas if I'm talking 90% of the time, I have a 20% close ratio. So you want to be, obviously in that 70% range. But that kind of a program, that kind of a system really, really teaches us how to shut up and listen. So talking a little bit more about just kind of where we are and what we're doing and the purpose of this entire podcast. I mean, it started out, like I said, we wanted to talk about our carriers. We wanted agents to come on and highlight what their experience is like with specific carriers. And that's still our goal. That's still very much our goal. We still want agents to come on board, and we're still going to be leading the conversations in that direction. It's really cool for me to. It's okay to modify and adapt. Thank you. It's really cool for me to be in this position where I'm at right now. Hernan and I, we've been doing this Business Bros podcast for, where are we? 557 episodes.
Yeah, I think I set up. I think all the way up to like 560.
There you go. So we've been doing this one for so long. And the fact of the matter is, though, I have not been really doing that. I've been mostly in the background. I have been Hernan's producer. I've been the one clicking the buttons like this. Show me the button! And just, doing all the background stuff that everybody sees and hears on the show. Mute that. So as far as actually hosting and interviewing guests, that really hasn't been my forte. And so, having the opportunity to do that last week, getting that first one out, getting the jitters out, felt really good. And I'm excited for a lot more of those to come. Nate tells me that he tells himself to shut up all the time because it's not his job to tell the customer whether or not to buy. And also to practice KISS every time. Keep it simple, smart. That's my guess, I think. Nate can correct me if that's supposed to stand for something else. But yeah, so being in this position to talk to people and to express my ideas for, frankly, 30 minutes. It feels like a lot sometimes. I have been trying to develop a habit here of posting on social media every day. And it's not quite a habit yet. It's something that I have written down. It's something that I try to remind myself to do, and it still somehow manages to slip. But, just like with this podcast, every day is a new start, right? Every day is a new opportunity. Every minute is a new chance to start a new habit. Creating habits is work. Creating habits is something that takes a concerted, concentrated effort. It's something that, creating good habits is often something that is a deliberate, concentrated effort. Bad habits, we already know those are really easy to fall into because of how easy they are. Listening to this book right now called Atomic Habits, and one of the things that they talk about when it comes to setting yourself up for success when it comes to good habits or any habit in general is to make it easy. So if you can make it easy to do certain things, to do the things that you want to do, then you're more likely to do them. So for example, if you want to work out in the morning, then set your gym clothes aside and set your shoes right there next to your gym clothes so that they're not in different spots. They're not in different places. You don't have to go searching for, the shirt and the shorts and the shoes separately. So making the habit easy to do. What's another one? Making the habit easy, making it satisfying. So rewarding oneself after completing those habits. In fact, that's actually something that I've taken a real liking to, rewarding myself. I'm going to grab something real quick here.
Habit stacking is another one.
Habit stacking. So check this out. I do a weekly planner. In my weekly planner, once again, huge shout out to my mastermind group, Junto. They are awesome. If anybody wants to join a mastermind group, this is one that I very, very, very highly recommend. I've been a member of this group since January of last year, and it has dramatically changed my life in the way that I do business. So if anybody's interested in joining a mastermind group, hit me up. I would love to introduce you to Parker and to the Junto group. But I digress. I'm talking about my weekly planner. So in my weekly planner, I set 3 goals every week. And if I accomplish my 3 goals, I get to reward myself with something. A lot of times it's something like, I don't know, Chips Ahoy cookies. I love my Chips Ahoy, right? Old reliable. But last week it was, I wanted a purple shirt. Now I'm wearing my bright orange shirt today. Yesterday was my bright red one. I've got a bright green and a bright blue. I don't have a purple one yet. So last week I got my 3 goals done. This week I got my purple shirt.
Real man.
What was a good example? Well, you know what?
I'll give you my example.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, so I know it's I'm on a little side note thing here, right? But a little thing I used to do, I wanted to get in the habit of doing push-ups and sit-ups, right? I wanted to make sure I did this on a regular basis. So what I would do, it was during COVID when I decided to get into this habit because I was going to the gym before that. So I would wake up at we'd hop on the 5 a.m. call. Actually, I don't think we were doing 5 a.m. call. I think we had just started, but I hop on the 5 a.m. call and then I'd set my alarm, and at 6 o'clock, I would stop what I'm doing when my alarm goes off and drop down and do 50 push-ups and do 50 sit-ups. And it didn't matter if it took me 20 minutes to do it or 10 minutes or 5 minutes. It didn't matter. I was going to get it done. And I set an alarm 4 times. So it was a 6 o'clock alarm, a 7 o'clock alarm, an 8 o'clock alarm, and a 9 o'clock alarm. And that was how I stacked it on top of doing my work. So I was doing my work, my normal goals, but my stack was when my alarm goes off, right next to my laptop or right next to my desk where I'm sitting, I was going to drop down and do my push-ups. And then I had no excuse because I knew when I was going to do it. I knew how many I was going to do. I knew exactly where it was going to happen. And I got into the habit. And so I would do 50 push-ups every hour. That got my 200 for the day, 200 for the 200 sit-ups for the day. And before I knew it, now I've crunched it down. Now I'm doing my 200 and I do it in about 25 to 30 minutes all the way through. But developing the habit was the hardest part. That was the most difficult part.
100%. Developing the habit is the hardest part. And, to your point, we're talking about the 5 a.m. club. My habit that I wanted to start was to stretch every day. Not quite yoga, but at least to get a good stretch in. And so for me, habit stacking, the way I understood it is when I wake up in the morning and I do I join the call for the 5 a.m. club, shout out to the Justice League. When I jump on that call, during that time is when I am stretching. So I'm stacking one habit on top of another. I'm developing the good habit of waking up and getting my day started at 5 a.m. and at the same time stacking on top of that during that same moment, during that same time frame, the stretching that I wanted to do. So yeah, habit stacking. Where do we start with all that? Where are we going? Oh, I was talking about the weekly planner and rewarding oneself. These are all things that are super important to developing our habits, and these are the things that we continue to do here. My brother and I, we're crazy, right? I told somebody about it today. Again, I was talking to Melina. Actually, I was on the Brainy Biz call today, and I told her that now we're doing 2 daily podcasts, and she's just like, James, I love you, but yeah, you're damn
crazy.
mind. And I'm like, yeah, maybe a little bit, but these are the things that we do with purpose. We have a purpose. We have a direction. We know why we're doing the things that we're doing. For you, Hernan, when you were doing all the Business Bros stuff and you started interviewing and you started doing what I'm doing right now, which is just talking to a camera for 30 minutes at a time, it was different. It started out not great, right? And that because you can look back on it and it's like, eesh.
It was horrible. Like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know exactly what to talk about. I mean, remember when we first started, it wasn't even live. We would literally record and then post the episodes. We outlined every single episode, so we knew exactly what the points we were going to talk about. We had episodes where we literally pulled points from Tim and Julie Harris's real estate coaching program because we were focusing on real estate. So I literally pulled their show notes and already had listened to their podcast, and we did our own commentary on the same notes. Like it was anything that we can do to develop our skills behind the microphone, to learn how to communicate. And that's how you build the habit. That's how you get better at doing it.
And that's exactly what I'm working on now, because you already did that work. You already have that skill. I mean, you're always improving, obviously, but you already have that skill. You're at 557 episodes, and you really have been the primary host for the majority of those episodes. Like you said, when we started out, probably the first 70 episodes or so, we were both, you and I, talking back and forth. There was a lot more of me in that. But at a certain point, I kind of just fell off. I mean, there are several episodes where I give the introduction at the beginning, that fire intro, and then I just shut off. I just I don't even know if I was even on the show anymore. I was probably just working on whatever agency stuff that needed to get done and completely ignoring the rest of the episode. But now, I am the host of this show, and I'm doing this because I want to be able to listen better. I want to be able to communicate better. I want to get Pipeline Insurance better known, right? I want to be the face of the company. I want to be the face of the industry. Even I want people to see me at the conventions in Palm Springs and to know who I am. I want to have insurance agents from all over Southern California that I've talked to on the show. I want to go to the conventions and shake hands with people. Well, first of all, it's COVID. I want to be able to shake hands again, right? But also to go and shake hands with people and actually know who they are, actually have had a conversation with them and be able to ask, about the different things that we talked about and how different parts of their business are going. So, it's all about really continuing to do these things on a daily basis. And I love what you always say, Nan, about podcasting being the best prospecting tool that you ever ran across, because that's exactly what it's becoming for us here as well on the Carrier Experiencer. It's all about having this opportunity to talk to agents, to learn from agents, to provide value to anybody who's listening. This is where I was going with it. This is, and it's great. It's perfect. Here we are, the last 5 minutes, and I'm finally going to get to my point. I have been in the insurance industry for 6 years. Mike, who we interviewed last week, Mike Fusco and Orsini Insurance Services. He's been in the insurance industry, he said, 19 years. The president of our company, Joe Zeller, he's been in the insurance industry for 25 years. A lot of the people that I listen to on other podcasts, other insurance podcasts, have been in the industry for decades, right? 1 decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, whatever. They've been in the industry for a long time. They know so much. I feel like a baby around them a lot of times. And there's so much that I am continuously learning, but of course I'm dedicated to continual growth and learning. But I really do. I feel like a baby, and I know that there are a lot of people out there that are just like me. I know that there are a lot of people out there, a lot of insurance agents out there who have a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever, under your belt, and you're doing everything on your own. You are out there, you're listening to whatever podcast that you can, and so much of what they're talking about is just going over your head because you're not there yet. A lot of the things that I listen to on those podcasts are over my head because I'm not there yet. And so what I want to bring to this podcast, to the insurance space, is my authenticity, is my ability to tell people, look, this is where I'm at right now. I think that there's a lot of people that are in the same space as me and want to grow, want to learn, want to get better. And what I want to do through this podcast is to bring people that have been there, bring people that have been where I am and have gotten out and gotten better and gotten above, and bring the lessons to each and every one of us. There's so much in this insurance industry that we're never going to learn. Even talking with Mike last week, I said, "Oh wow, you've been in the insurance industry for this long, and you know so much," because he does. He's a rock star. He knows so much about the things that he knows, right? But there's still so much in the insurance space that he doesn't know, that I don't know. None of us can be a complete expert in every single facet of the insurance space, but that's what this show is going to be able to bring to people. This show is going to be able to bring different perspectives, different guests, different niches, different expertise, a bunch of variations of insurance folks that are going to bring value, knowledge, education that will fit with those that are tuning in. We're going to find ways, and I've talked about this before. I have 4 goals. I have 4 goals with this podcast. Goal number 1 is to get to the heart of what we're talking about. I want to get to the heart of today's topic, my authenticity, telling people where we are, what we're doing, where we're going with this. So that first goal is to really get to the heart, to make sure that it's something that you want to listen to, something that's worth listening to, something that's valuable. Goal number 2 is to highlight our guests and or our sponsors, right? Whichever one of them is, both. Highlight our guests, highlight our sponsor. I think that actually was 3 and 4. No. Actually, that was just number 2. Number 3 is to learn something, right? If I'm learning something, here I am, like I said, 6 years. Nate, also 6 years, and you still feel like a rookie, bro. Me too. 6 years, and I teach insurance. I live, eat, breathe insurance. This is what I do. This is what I think about all day, every day, and I still feel like a rookie too. So, I feel you. So if I'm learning something with my 6 years of experience, I know that agents all over the place are going to be learning something. So that's, my 3rd goal. And my 4th, my last goal is to just have fun. And when it comes right down to it, the way that I'm going to have fun is by being my authentic self, is just by being me and bringing who I am to the table. I think that a lot of people listen to different podcasters and different podcasters because of who the host is. The host is what makes the podcast happen. And the best hosts, in my opinion, are those that are authentic, are those that are just themselves. In fact, I can even think of some actors some big name actors who are basically themselves in every movie that they do, but they're awesome actors because they're just amazing characters. Samuel L. Jackson, I'm calling you out, buddy. And, Bruce Willis, basically the same thing, right? These are just actors that act like themselves in different roles. So, that's what I'm bringing to the table. It's just my authenticity, who I am, what I'm doing. I want to share it with everybody. I want the guests that I bring onto the show to be of value to everybody. I guess the last thing here is to tune in tomorrow, because we will be having a guest, one of our very own, Gustavo Hernandez, a pipeline agent. So I'm really super excited to have our first pipeline agent on the show. Nate, I know you're listening in. You got to set up your appointment, jump on the show too. And I know that we're going to have a lot of other folks from the agency also signing up here, and from all over the place. We have so much value to learn and to give to one another, and that's what I want this show to be. Anything to add to it as we head out here? Nope, you are silent as a mouse because you're on that other call, but thanks for hopping on and hanging out with me today anyway. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all again for your time. Really appreciate every single one of you who is tuning in. As always, you rock my socks. You have my heart. Have a nice day. And go.
Thank you for tuning in to the Carrier Experience Podcast. James is the CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you are an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com. You can find James on all social media at